Bad situationships are when they don't know when to leave. And you don't know when to leave because you want that person really, really bad. You're just gonna wait around and keep freaking spiraling and get in your head until he puts you in a relationship or cuffs you or whatever. I kind of wanted to talk about this, especially because I feel like if you click this video, you are literally stuck in a situationship. When you're in a situationship, it's a lot of confusingness. Feelings are there a lot of the times, but you're not in a relationship, so you don't have the same rules and you don't have the same privileges, which is important, but you also like are not completely single. We are gonna get right into it. So we're gonna talk a lot about situationship. If you don't know me, my name is Desi. I do attachment research. And basically, I study attachment and relationships for a living, and I'm here to simplify everything and give you guys advice. I'll have a lot of people who will say to me like, oh my god, I'm in a situationship. Like if you're like, oh my god, you have a boyfriend, they're like, oh, I'm in a situationship. I have really thought about the word situationship, and I've been in situationship, so like, don't get me wrong. I think what I never understand now is like, why are we in situationships? Situationship should not be such a normalized term, right? I know you're probably thinking like, okay, girl, I get it, but I'm in a fucking situation, like I don't care. But I just want to say for a second, like situationships are not supposed to be a thing. And I understand because like I know when I've been in a situationship, it's usually like what I would call like that in-between phase of like you've been seeing somebody, but like you're not at the point of like let's get to a relationship, which is obviously normal. Like you want to take your time before you get into a relationship. But a lot of the times when people say they're in a situationship, they'll always say it with like rolling their eyes, like they're like, oh, I'm in a situationship, it's calm. What I think is like what most people refer to as a situationship is when like this talking phase is getting to know each other phase of starting. If we have like a little line here, it's like first date, don't know each other, relationship. Okay, somewhere over here is like, okay, we're starting to get to know each other, but like when this relationship isn't coming and this is getting like dragged on, that's where I feel like it's becoming a situationship. Like it should have been a relationship by now, but it's like not, and so I'm stuck in a situationship. And girl, this shit is freaking frustrating. I actually remember I had like a guy that I talked to for a while, and I would say that we were in a situationship, and he actually was the one who came to me. This is a long time ago, and he actually came to me probably after like 3-4 months of like talking and like seeing each other like consistently. And in his opinion, it was like, okay, I've gotten to know you 3-4 months. I don't see why we're still dragging it out. I think it should either be a relationship or just be done. And so he was really like, I don't really want to be in a situationship. It's either a relationship or we are done. When you think about it realistically, I was lying to myself because 3-4 months of like seeing somebody consistently and talking to them like pretty consistently, like it wasn't every day, but pretty consistently. It's a good amount of time to know at least if you are going to be in a relationship with this person or not. I don't know if we need to be assessing each other for like over 6 months, like to a year. Like girl, some of y'all who are in situationships who message me, why are we in a situationship for like a year? At that point, you know if you want to be with this person. He knows if he wants to be with you or not, okay? And if he doesn't, if he's not making it a relationship yet, that's an issue. A lot of times it could be you're willing. I think most of us who are here, it's probably not your. I feel like us girls most of the time are the ones who want to be in the relationship, but it's usually the guy who's like not really moving at our speed, or he's not appeasing to what we want. And I need you to ask yourself why you're stuck. Be honest with yourself. Is it you or is it him? You see, a lot of girls that I will talk to, they will say, oh, like, I'm just like stuck in this situationship because he's not ready for a relationship. Oh, but I'm also not ready for a relationship. Oh, I'm still assessing him. Sometimes we kind of like make excuses, and I've been there. I've done this. We're making excuses. Deep down, what's happening is cognitive dissonance again. And if you don't know what cognitive dissonance is, I've talked about it in my other videos. It's this thing in your brain where like, for example, you want to be with this guy. If it's been a couple months and you like him, as we all do, and it's natural, you want to be with this guy. But what the problem is he's not cuffing you, okay? So what your brain is trying to do to make yourself feel better about this is it'll convince yourself, oh, I'm not in a relationship with him yet because of me. Oh, I'm actually not ready, or oh, I actually don't want him, or like, oh, actually, like, I don't know, I don't want him either. You know what I'm saying? To make yourself feel better. Be honest with yourself. Like, move the tricking that your brain is doing and try to make yourself feel better, and it's gonna feel uncomfortable. But like, why are you actually stuck? Is it because he's not committed? Is it because he's talking to his ex? Is it because of distance? Is it because he's not able to give you enough time? What is the reasoning why you're stuck in this situation? I think the truth is that I liked the attention, and I liked a consistent man on my phone who wanted me and who I had a good time with and who we went out with. Like, ask yourself, like, honestly, like, are you just scared to get into a relationship? A lot of us have been through like maybe like a hard time. Maybe you've been through a traumatic relationship. Maybe you just don't want to be hurt again. Like, I don't know what you've been through. Maybe you're just scared. And if you're just scared, but you're also like, oh, I don't want to lose this person, you might have some work to do by yourself before you get into a relationship. Because even if you were to get into a relationship with him, or you do it because you don't want to lose him, you might not be showing up as the best version of you, and you might be insecure, you might be causing fights, you know, there might be a lot of things that are going on that you don't want to go on. on. So once again, I want to kind of go back to the part where like sometimes we tell ourselves that everything's fine and like, oh, he's just really busy. Oh, he wants to get into a relationship with me when he's done school. He wants to get into a relationship with me when he, you know, is single for a little bit more. Oh, it's just, you know, he doesn't know me enough yet. Or, oh, he has commitment issues. Oh, he's been traumatized. He just needs more time. Oh, he has trust issues. A lot of times we kind of make excuses for people as to why we're stuck in this situation. And I understand nobody's perfect and like, you know, some of them might be a little bit valid, but like, I think that there is a point that you're gonna come to when you're gonna get frustrated with being in a situationship, and you are gonna have to be honest with yourself, and you're gonna have two options. Obviously, you want to be in a relationship. I'm talking to the people who are deep down, they've already done the work, they've already thought about it. Pick up your journal and ask yourself what you really want. If you've come to the decision that, you know what, I hate to admit it, or oh, you were right, Neethi, like I do actually want to be with this guy. It's just he's not committing to me. Even though my brain is making up a million excuses as to why this is okay, or oh, it's actually me to make myself feel better. No, I want to be in a relationship. The odds that you're just gonna tell them this and they're gonna cuff you, probably not the biggest odds. You know, I'm talking about people who've been stuck in situationships or like in a situationship too long. And so I don't know if that's what's exactly gonna happen, but that is one option. You know, if you really feel like maybe it just like hasn't been like explicitly said yet, and maybe like you do want to say it. I don't want to say go in with an ultimatum, but I do want to say that we're not putting the ball in the man's court. We're not going to go in and say, oh, I want to be in a relationship with you, I really like you, I don't want to be in a situationship anymore, and then just like, oh, we'll just see what he said. You need to, before you do something like that, be clear in your mind. What are you okay with taking? And like, this is a big question. Like, honestly, for this you need to have some self-worth. For this you need to have self-respect. For this you oftentimes need to have done some work on yourself. You need to know your attachment style. You need to know what you deserve. A lot of other videos on building confidence, if you want to go watch those. You need to know that, you know what, I've been talking to this man for 6 months, 4, 5, 6 months, and I deserve some sort of direction. Okay, maybe that's your standard. Maybe your standard is, I have to leave this conversation because I know my worth, and I'm not just gonna sit around with a guy who like doesn't take me seriously or isn't giving me straight answers. I need to have this conversation and kind of like tell him, like, you know, I need some sort of answer. Either you give me a timeline of we're gonna get cuffed in this long, and you need to be trusting him on that, and you need to hold yourself accountable to that if he doesn't do that, you're out. You don't have to tell him that even. Just know it to yourself. Okay, like if he says in 6 months, like, you know, or in 2 more months, you know, we're gonna be my girlfriend, and you're okay with that. Actually ask yourself what you're okay with. Then okay, you might see how it goes in 2 months, but you need to be firm with yourself, not with him. Oh, if you don't cuff me in 2 months, I'm gonna leave you. Be firm to yourself and just leave. I know it's hard, but you kind of have to have like what you're okay with him saying. And you're not okay with that because you deserve, after talking to a man for this long, and you know, he should know your worth by now. If he still doesn't know your worth by now, then be ready to walk away. So if you're gonna have a conversation with this with a man, which is option number 1, be ready with your clear standards of what you want. If he says he cannot cuff me and he cannot give me X timeline, X amount of months, whatever you think it is that truly feels good in your gut, I'm willing to walk away right then and there. And I know that that's not easy because we like the attention, we like the man, we see a future with him, but you need to know your standards. If you are just being wifey, being girlfriend material, if you're there hanging out with him all the time, if you're there answering his calls, answering his phones, and you're basically acting like you're in a relationship, situationship, and he has no pressure to cuff you, why would he? Like, I wouldn't either if I was a fucking man. Like, why would I? I'm already getting everything and I don't even have to put the title, and the rules are wishy-washy, so I can also indulge in other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you? Right? You are the fucking prize. You are a badass bitch. We don't sit around and act like a girlfriend and pick up phone calls and text and think about a man all day and say that we're in a situationship and act like we're cuffed and put up with shit when we're not being put in a relationship. Have your standards. The second thing is, if you're not going to directly talk to him, it's kind of like the first thing, but you're just not going to you're not going to talk to him. You're just going to wait and watch. The ball's going to be in your court. The power's in our court here, okay? In my head, let's say I've been talking to this man for 4 months. I like him. I know he likes me. I can tell by his actions. And if he doesn't like me, I'm walking away. If this man doesn't try to cuff me in 2 months, if this man is still not acting like I'm his girlfriend in a couple months, like let's say by the 7-month mark, and we're at 4 months right now, that is my rule that I'm telling to myself. And I actually think this is a better option than telling the guy, because we're not here to put pressure on men. We're here to know our worth and walk away, black hat energy, when we don't have something up to our standard. You are not a girl who's gonna wait 7 months of putting your energy into somebody for them to not even cuff you. And so that's the second option, is to just be silent with it. Have the same rules, have the same standards for yourself. Okay, if he doesn't cuff me in this long, I'm okay by myself. I know my worth. You know, I'm not gonna keep giving myself to somebody who doesn't see my potential. And you know what? I'm so sorry this is so harsh, but the truth is that man doesn't see your worth. I don't want to say ring on your finger. If he doesn't want to put you in a relationship and it's been a bit and you guys are talking every day and he clearly wants you, but that means he doesn't want you enough. He might want you, But he doesn't want you enough, or he doesn't want you consistently, or he doesn't want to be known that he's in a relationship with you, or he doesn't want to be public, or he doesn't want to put himself off the market, whatever it is. That is the truth. And I know that it sucks, but it's not even about you. It doesn't mean that you're worthless. It doesn't mean that you're not enough. It doesn't mean that you're less than. It doesn't mean you're not good enough for him. It just means that that man has his own issues. And where girls end up in these messy manipulation, anxious attachment, bad situationships are when they don't know when to leave. And you don't know when to leave because you want that person really, really bad, and you don't want to let go of them, and you want to. So you're not going to leave, right? You're just going to wait around, and keep freaking spiraling and get in your head until he puts you in a relationship or cuffs you or whatever. The truth of the matter is that, like, I hate to say this because it's so cliche. If he wanted to, he would. If it's been a couple months and you know it in your gut that this man likes you, but he doesn't like you enough, the fact no matter what a million thousand dumbass is giving, and there's a lot of girls who tell me a million types of excuses, and I'm like, girl, these are excuses. If he wanted to put you in a relationship, you could be millions of miles apart. It could be really hard circumstances. He could be in school. He could be not in school. He could be making money. He could be not. He could be owning a business. He could be not. He could be traumatized. He could have trust issues. He would do the work and be in the relationship. And I know, because I've been in situations where I really wanted somebody and maybe they like weren't ready. It's not easy to walk away from somebody when you know that you could still get that like attention from them, and you know that you could still call them. But that's knowing your worth. That's knowing your worth. And if that means that, you know what, at least I wasn't just like acting like a girlfriend or being a girlfriend to somebody who didn't even want to cuff me, and that's the hard truth, even though they might say they do. They might tell you, oh, I do, there's just the XYZ going on. No, it's not the truth, babe. That's not the truth. If somebody wants to, they will. Why do you think people get out of relationships and then they get married to another girl and 3 months later? How many times have you heard that? They get out of a 2-year relationship and they wouldn't wife that girl, and then they get into another relationship and 2 months later, if they wanted to, they would. Trust me. If a man sees a fucking catch, he will cuff you. And it's not about you, it's about him. So walk away when you're not. And I know that it fucking sucks and it's gonna hurt, it's gonna feel like shit. You need to be okay with the fact that you might be alone and you might feel lonely, and you're not gonna get that attention that you were getting. You're not gonna get whatever that fucking non-relationship calling and that non-relationship hanging out and the feeling that you're getting of basically being in a relationship anymore. And that's okay, and it sucks, but you're gonna learn to be happy alone. We're gonna do it together. I have a lot of videos to help you with that. And who knows, maybe down the line, you're gonna meet somebody who sees your value enough, who literally looks at you like a gem and is gonna want to cuff you in 10 seconds. Think of yourself like you are a diamond. You are a literal glistening diamond, okay? Diamonds, we love diamonds. You are a diamond. This stupid man has red, ugly ass, dark, cheap gas station sunglasses on, okay? And he doesn't see how glistening that diamond is. That diamond is you. He doesn't see it because he has fucking ugly sunglasses on. You can't force him to take the sunglasses off. That's his own issue. You're still the diamond. You're still the diamond. You didn't get uglier. And then there's Raj over here, and he doesn't have ugly ass gas station glasses on. He has Cartier frames on. No. He has no sunglasses on, okay? And he can see how shiny and how blinding and how beautiful this diamond is. It's the same diamond that whatever the other man's name was saw. But he just doesn't have issues, and he sees the worth. You are still the diamond in both cases. I want to emphasize this. You are still worthy in both cases. You are still you in both cases. You are still amazing in both cases. Just one person sees it and one person doesn't. And how we get entangled is when we're stuck with the person who doesn't see it, and we want them to see it. We want them to see it. We're shining even brighter. We're trying even harder. But they have gas station disgusting ass sunglasses on. They will not be able to see it until they do the work and they take those sunglasses off themselves, which who fucking knows when it's gonna happen, right? You are still you. You're still worthy. Be with somebody who wants to be with you. This is just like my little rant, but I don't believe in situationships. I don't believe that, yeah, you can talk to somebody, get to know them, but like after a certain couple months, like you know if you want to be with someone. And all these dumb excuses that these men make, I'm sorry, it's giving commitment issues. It's giving they don't see your worth. It's giving they don't want to cuff you. They don't want to make it official. They don't want people to know they're with you. It's giving they just are making a million excuses. And trust me, these excuses will get to your head, and I'll believe them too. And if you don't believe me, comment with the excuses and I'll tell you if they're real. But like, they're not real. They're not real. They're not real. Okay? So no more situationships. We talk to people, we get to know people. But after a certain point, we're either in a relationship with them or we're taking our worth and we're chilling by ourselves, or someone else is gonna see it. Okay? No more situationships. We're not doing this anymore. Okay? Alright, that is the end of my video. Comment, like, subscribe, message me if you have any problems, if you have any situations, comment them, I'll give you advice. Let me know what else you want me to talk about. I'm your girl, brown girl, everything, advice, self-development, confidence. I'm here for you guys. You guys can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I post a lot of shorter form content, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!